Hello and welcome to the March-April 2026 edition of the Abbavilla Digest. I'm Breneir Tzaracomprada. Our top story is the shocking resignation of the nation's Attorney General in opposition to an ostracizing campaign. We will then discuss an announcement and apology from the governing Progressive Alliance for a broosking violation. And we will round out the news with the review of an unexpected change in the office of the Leader of the Opposition. Stick with us. A high-profile resignation has shocked Talossa after its Attorney General, Tric'hard Lenxheir, stepped down and renounced her citizenship in a public statement, citing what he described as a campaign of hostility directed at a fellow citizen. The resignation came in a Wittenberg post addressed directly to Kingcheck. In it, the Attorney General announced they were stepping down from their position, relinquishing their seats in the COSA, and renouncing their Talossan citizenship altogether. The post cited in their words, quote, difficulties with the way certain issues are being handled by certain individuals within Talossa, unquote, and specifically referenced what he described as, quote, hatred for one citizen by a few others, unquote, as the reason they felt they could no longer remain. The citizen named in the post is yours truly, Breneir Tzaracomprada. Lenxheir wrote that he had read Tzaracomprada's apology, described it as, quote, well stated and well intended, unquote, and expressed the view that certain other citizens owe him an apology rather than the other way around. The post closed with the statement that if a citizen can be ostracized, quote, because, in the opinion of some, he didn't apologize enough, unquote, then they wanted no part of the country, adding that until the recent controversy, he had genuinely enjoyed his time as a Talossan. It is clear that the resignation of a senior official, particularly one who chose to renounce citizenship rather than simply step down, is certainly a significant event within any political community, micronation or otherwise. Shortly after Lenxheir's post, the Seneschal, Alexandru Devanescu, expressed sorrow at the decision and admitted discomfort at the ongoing campaign of ostracizing led by himself and the leader of the URL, Miestra Shiva. Devanescu and many others applauded Lenxheir's contributions to politics and culture and encouraged his return. The Secretary of State has accepted their renunciation and issued a call to the Progressive Alliance for reallocation of its seats in the COSA. The PA currently has only 67 of the 87 seats it won at the election assigned, although it is still receiving support from the IDT and anarcho-surrealist, and also unofficial support from the URL as well. Whether the departure of the Attorney General prompts broader reflection within the community appears unlikely, as the leader of the URL, the Speaker of the COSA, and former Secretary of State Gluck Dadi doubled down on the very campaign which has driven out now one of Talossa's most active citizens. The Progressive Alliance, or PA, has issued a public apology after one of its members contacted a prospective citizen to discuss supporting the party, a practice considered a serious breach of political norms, even in the absence of a formal law prohibiting it. The announcement centers on a practice known within Talossa as broosking, which is defined as the act of partisan political recruitment with respect to immigration applicants. Broosking is not codified in Talossan law due to potential conflicts with the Covenant of Rights and Freedoms. Instead, according to the Progressive Alliance's statement, it is governed by what they describe as a mutual agreement among responsible citizens that allowing it would be dangerous to the integrity of the immigration process. In this instance, a member of the Progressive Alliance sent a message to a prospective citizen highlighting positive features of the party. According to the announcement, the member was unaware that doing so crossed a line. Upon learning of the issue, they apologized and acknowledged the problem. The Progressive Alliance's statement made clear that the party does not blame the member, noting, and I'm quoting directly here, how could they have known? But nonetheless issued a formal apology on behalf of the party for what it called a breach of this understood norm. The statement goes further than simply addressing the immediate incident. It outlines the reasoning behind the norm itself, explaining why Talossa's political community views broosking as a threat worth taking seriously, even without legislative enforcement. The concern is that if immigration is politicized, parties could begin flooding prospective citizens with partisan messaging in private before those individuals have had the opportunity to form their own views. The statement warns this could make the immigration process less welcoming, and in more serious scenarios, could lead parties to find pretexts to block prospective citizens who appear likely to join a rival party, or cause the process itself to warp around the recruiting priorities of whichever party holds power at a given time. This is not the first time someone has made this mistake. The Digest notes that current URL Senator Godefroy Valkadak engaged in flagrant broosking in 2023 with direct public appeals to support his then party, the Free Democrats. What makes this announcement notable is its transparency. Rather than handle the incident quietly, the Progressive Alliance chose to address it publicly, explain the reasoning behind the norm, and take institutional responsibility, while stopping short of placing blame on the individual member involved. A question over parliamentary procedure has led to a quiet but significant shift in the country's political landscape, with the leader of the Green Party officially recognized as the leader of His Majesty's loyal opposition, following a close reading of Talossan law. The thread was opened on March 1st on Wittenberg by Breneir Tzaracomprada. The question was straightforward but consequential. Given recent voting patterns in the COSA, who actually qualifies as the official opposition under Talossan law? The answer hinged on a piece of legislation known as the 53RZ-10, Leader of the Opposition Restoration Bill, authored by Minister Shiva in 2019. This bill defines the official opposition as those members of the COSA who voted against confidence on the most recent vote of confidence, or who intend to do so on the next one. The complicating factor was that the URL, the Union of Free Reformists, currently the largest party outside government, had entered into an agreement to abstain on confidence votes rather than vote against them. The Green Party, by contrast, had voted entirely against confidence. Under the strict letter of the law, that made the Greens the official opposition and Breneir Tzaracomprada its leader. Tzaracomprada acknowledged the situation himself, noting his support for reforming the definition, while stating that in the meantime, the Greens would do their best in the role. The thread drew responses from several prominent politicians. Mikhail Autofil, a citizen who had previously authored legislation intended to clarify the opposition definition, called the current definition authored by his party colleague, in his words, bonkers. An agreed reform was needed. The speaker, Marcel Tafial, also a member of the URL, offered a similar view, suggesting the COSA look into redefining opposition membership to include anyone not explicitly supporting the government. Minister Shiva of the URL indicated she had no objection to the exclusion of the URL from the official opposition designation under the current arrangement, noting that criticism from the crossbenchers remained perfectly possible regardless of the formal title. Secretary of State Luc Deshear provided the definitive ruling. He updated the official database to recognize Tzaracomprada as leader of the opposition and clarified the process by which URL members could trigger a change if they chose to, by casting no votes on the current confidence vote and then holding a public vote to select a different leader of the opposition. At Tzaracomprada's own request, Sir Luke also updated his forum title to reflect the informal designation of, and I'll do my best here, omnicanary, which means creator of white noise in Talossan.